The next topic is inertia and mass. That's right. Mass is the quantity of matter contained in a body. Inside any object, whatever material we have, that is called mass. If that material is more, mass is more. Less, it will be less. That's simple. Okay. Now, SI unit of mass is kg, small kg, okay, kilogram. It's also called kilogram. Okay. Now, let us try and understand the concept. Take two boxes, one empty and other filled with sand. Okay. Then it is easier to move the empty box than to the full one. Now place them on a table and try to move them on a table. Which one is easier to move? The empty one is easy to move because it is not having more mass. So like that, inertia will be more. Whichever object will have more mass will have more inertia. The object which has more mass will have more inertia. That means it will be difficult to make it move, it is not moving. It will be difficult to stop if it is already moving, and it will be difficult to change its direction if it is already not in the same direction. So this is the mass and inertia connection. More mass, more will be the inertia, and more difficult to change its initial state. Either it is at rest, it is at motion, and it is in some direction. Okay, so inertia is mass is an idea of understanding how big will be the inertia, that opposing its tendency. Okay, now force is that external agency, which is, we call it effort, isn't it, which changes the state of rest or of uniform motion of an object. When we say inertia will try to oppose the external cause, but still many times the external cause can win the inertia and make it move. It is not that very heavy object cannot move. It will move when the force is moved. That force, that external agency, external effort is the force. Okay, force has to win the inertia to overcome, then only it will show its presence. It will play its role after overcoming the inertia of rest, inertia of motion, inertia of direction. Okay, this is how inertia is understood. Next is importance of Newton's first law of motion. Why it is important? We know what is Newton's laws of motion. It is very much connected to the inertia. It says that an object will remain at rest or in uniform motion unless and until some external force acts on it to change the state of motion or at rest. Okay, so this is called Newton's first law. And why it is important? Before the law was known, scientists believed that the natural state of the object bodies in this is state of rest. Earlier they say rest and motion, but now they understood rest is very much same like uniform motion. Okay, force will only disturb rest and uniform, not just rest. Okay, so that was the difference. This law challenged the belief that and established the natural tendency of a body is to resist any attempt to change their velocity, including zero velocity and the state of rest. It is also known the law of inertia. This is also another name is law of inertia, because inertia definition is also same. Inertia says don't change until some external force acts on you, and same is Newton's first law. It is established that inertia is the fundamental property of all matter in the universe. And from the first law, we came to know that after its importance is that inertia is present in everything. Whichever has mass will have inertia in it. It is universal, means for everything it is true. Third one, it introduced the concept of force, the physical quantity, and gave its definition as external influence. Now, in the first law, you know that until and unless an external force applied on it, that means from the first law we came to understand that there is something which is an external agency and which is called force. Remember, in the first law we are yet to write F equal to what. We are not writing how much is the force, but we know there is a force which is responsible for making the change in the state of the body, even it is at rest, from the rest to motion, or from motion to stop it. So this is the importance of the first law of motion. Three differences, three important things given. You can see in your textbook and you can understand. The first one was, it had law of inertia. Inertia is fundamental, everywhere it is true. Inertia, first law is also called law of inertia, the first one. And the third one is introduced force. These are the three things first law of Newton's law has done. Now we are still to be challenged for doing the second and third law, which we will do in coming classes. Thank you.